Hi, I'm just here to show you a different way than you've maybe not seen before for filleting fish. It can be used for everything except pike for the most part. The biggest problem a lot of people do is their knives get dull, and the reason is because people, when they cut through the fish, they'll go straight down and right through the whole rib bones, and that's terrible on a knife, especially a straight edge blade. So I'm going to teach you a way that you can do that with saving your blades so that you can do multiple fish at the same time. So first of all, we've got a bass here, we just caught this morning. What we're going to do is, you can see the gill plate that's here, and you've got the front fin here. So what we want to do is we want to pull up, get behind the gill plate, and there's a bone just right behind. You maybe can't see it on the thing, but right behind here. And sharp knife is obviously important. And you're going to cut down and follow down along behind the head here, right to the spine. Then you're going to come up and cut behind here and follow up right to the gill plate. Okay? Now, we're going to do a cut along the back side here, and we're going to follow the knife along in the middle of the fish straight, right? So what we're going to do is, first we're just going to poke a hole, and you're going to use all the fins as your position to follow. Get through those big scales, poke a hole, and then we're just going to basically follow in a straight, keeping your edge straight, not going up or down, just straight along those bones till you come up to where your cut is behind the head. See there? Okay. Now we're going to go and follow along this other fin. Once you get to the back of the fin, you can feel where you can actually work right over the rib bone or the center bone and poke right through the other side, okay? A little bit of an edge down, a little angle down, just follow along lightly along that center spine bone. What I do is also leave just a little bit of skin on here so you don't have to try to hold on it when you're trying to take the skin off. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my one hand and pry out with the meat here, and we're going to just follow down straight, light on the blade until we hit the rib bones, and you'll feel it because you'll start going ding 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 along the rib bones. You can hear it when we're going over top of them, maybe there. And where you come through here, you can see this is the butthole here. You can actually run that right up to that butthole. That's where the rib cage will start, okay? That way you get all that meat if you missed it a little bit. Now, this is where it differs. Most people will cut through those bones, but if you pry back on the meat and you just feather it up, so basically you're going to be changing the angle of your blade up. This way you can actually follow that bone that comes straight up and then around the rib cage. So what you're going to do is you're going to follow that just really lightly. In this case, as big bass, you're not going to actually go through those bones, but if it was a perch or a pickerel or something, you have more chances of that happening. So what we're going to do is you're going to follow those bones, and you can see I'm just on this side of the bone, and you're going to go right up until you actually hit the skin. And the way you can tell is it'll start getting silver, so you can see the silver color on here. That means we're right on over top of the bones. There. Now, just gonna get down here and up. Now, I'm going to turn my blade actually the opposite way, and I'm going to feel down so I'm underneath of the bones. So I'm just on the other side, and all I'm going to do is work it up right to where that skin is. Right, that. And work its way up, up. Keeping your fingers out of the way, of course. Okay, so now this is the bone, and we've came down the other side. You're going to run straight down until we hit the ribs, and then change your blade and follow the rib cage down the other way. And if you've got your knife alongside, they'll follow along suit perfectly fine. Then now you can see how I've still got this fillet attached here, because sometimes it's hard to get a hold of the fish. So this way, if you've got that little bit still there, you can actually just make a light cut down till you hit the underside of the skin, then turn your blade with a slight bit angle and just lightly saw back and forth, making sure you don't go too deep because you'll cut through the skin. So you're just trying to put a little bit of pressure on your blade and then just a light seesaw action down along the blade, down along the skin. Now this fish is, I should have probably extended this knife it comes with, and you can extend the blade. I'm running out a little bit of a blade here. Now what you'll also find is you'll have one side of a fish that you actually can fillet easier than the other side. It's just a left hand, right hand case. But here you can see I just got a little bit of the rib cage in here. You can always do a little feel around just to see if there's any bones by running through here. And there you go, we got a perfect fillet without the bone, and you're not cutting through all these bones with this fish. I might as well do the other side. This is my not so good because I'm left-handed. So I'm going to do the same thing, cut down behind that all the way along. This one I'll do a little faster. And follow along the line again. Poke through. Leave that little bit at the end. Cut up. There. Run down till we hit that first ridge of bones. Then pry the meat back. That way you can get the meat out of the way, and then just feather it and just follow those bones up right to the skin. Till you see that silver color. That's how you know you're right on the edge. Then, running your blade up towards the head, get right behind those bones, and then just feather it, just staying on the other side of those bones. That way you can maximize your fillet. And you hit the ribs, turn your blade, oh, I missed one here. And then follow that rib line around. And then turn your blade, just a seesaw. I'm going to extend this a bit. This is actually a Cutco knife, which is kind of nice to be able to shorten it or lengthen it for the size of fish. And there you see we got followed all along the ribs. We've just left that little bit there that normally people will keep cutting through those bones, and you have to remove it anyway, so that makes a lot more sense to do that now and save your blades. And there we are with two perfectly filleted, deboned from a bass. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it helps you make better fillets and eat more fish. Thank you for watching.